X, can you hear me now? Oh yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. I guess I accidentally like stepped on my mic. Not really stepped on it, but it got unplugged. That was all on me. Sorry. I was waiting for people. Anyway, okay. So what was I saying? So I got draft recap, and then I got a little interview with Wookie going. So there's 18 quick, or was it 8 superstar, 10 quick? I'd got 2 of the quicks, Kano and Gin. And then there was also 8 slows, 5 of which were taken in the first round, one of them being my strong safety, Pigel. I'm just going to dot around some rosters and point out guys I like. So this time I'm going to go up on this stuff. So yeah, like I said, all my guys are super young, including 2 corners who I think I could really dev up, but that'll be a little bit of a project. I really like this guy. He was a defensive end. He was less than 70 overall. Defensive tackle, he moved up to 78. Browns. Some good trades by him, you know. Like, let's look at his top draft pick. Let's be real. Jamal Adams. I mean, that's a nice pick. Only issue is he needs to be re-signed this year. But, darn, to have really good safeties. Sazenbacher I really liked, 21, but also some solid base stats. And then he got one of the superstars. I think this was the only dev trait he drafted, actually, was Frost. Who he put at left tackle? Nope. Yeah, Jesse Frost, superstar, 80 overall, right out of the box, 92 strength. That's nice. Super nice. Broncos don't care about. Bills. Oh, the Bills drafted somebody. They drafted one of the slows. It was a backup quarterback. Yeah, Ross Cameron, 71 overall. I mean, yeah, so that happened. Bengals drafted one of the slows for sure, and that was the wide receiver he drafted in the first, Devin Bullock. And again, like, he's not only slow dev trade, but slow as a receiver. And I mean, you can work with slow receivers. I just don't think with like 76 spec catch it helps. That catch in traffic is going to have to get boosted a lot. But yeah, any other rookies did I like from him? Rod Allen, maybe. 86 strength is nice. Bears had an interesting draft. He had 2 of the dev traits at least, because he had Johnson, the linebacker. Luke Johnson, it's solid base speed, but definitely needs some work. Superstar dev. And then he had the third best safety in the draft, I think, overall, with the super quick dev, Dwayne Valentine. Vikings, Emmanuel Blake. Later on, there was a question about like who was the best, like a couple different ages. I think this is the best 23-year-old in the draft. To be like, when I look at that, 82 speed, 87 hit power, superstar dev, 87 block shedding, like he could be a slow dev, and I would 100% be cool with drafting him there. I believe he had a story last year. I couldn't remember. That's my best 23-year-old, and yeah. Just trying to think if he had anybody else really nice. I don't think he had a lot of draft picks, like only a handful. It must only be these 3 unless he went with some 24-year-olds. But yeah, Titans didn't... He only had 1 draft pick. Literally this guy. This was his draft guy. So, and when I look at that, 90 speed, agility, so he's going to be an outside guy, but 83 man, 77 zone out of the box. Play Rex easy to get up, and he has 87 jump. That's not bad. So that's his 1 pick, and so... It's not a bad pick, and I don't know what his corners look like. But definitely probably looking at starting this year, if not next, because of Drake or Patrick's age. But yeah, that was not bad for his 1 pick. Texans. Ooh, this is probably my favorite draft class, to be perfectly honest. Zach Bryant's the stud, 21, skipped the combine, so definitely a shot in the dark. Quick dev, he had three of the quick devs, or 3 of the quick / superstars out of the 18. So if you can get 1 in 6 of those guys, or what is that, 17%, 18% of those. Mike Peppers was a nice pick, and that was definitely a safety I was eyeballing. Eric Welch, he drafted 2 tight ends. I think Welch was all right. And then Nortman looked good as well. Not fast, but they're solid blockers, and that's fine. So Marrow, great value add by him. Again, 83 speed, just like Murrow, or not Murrow. Oh my God, the Vikings guy, whatever his name was. Why can I? But look, 85 block shed, 83 speed. The only thing is he's a little lower hip power. Manuel Blake. That's who I was thinking of. But that's a solid linebacker. And then finally one more. It was a lineman. Oh, I think he moved him to. Oh, I hate, because I can't remember if I look at him with his original stat line. But he was the center. It's Cody Clark, actually. Another quick dev. So 3 quick devs. Definitely a solid draft for him. Lots of good value adds. A lot of good starters. That I think Zach Bryant just got announced to be the starter over Dontari Poe. Steelers did a pretty nice draft. I think when I looked at it, Paul Madden, whatever his name is now, Braxton Berrios was the top value pick. I mean, 93 speed for that that stuff. But just needs to make sure he gets that injury up on him. But that's looking like a Purvis situation. Nice route running, good release, great release. So you can't just, from day one, he's going to be beating presses at 22. So he should put up nice numbers, especially with Richie Romberg. He'll help keep the defenses honest. Mingo was a nice little solid ad too. 91 hit power for safety is always good. I don't think he had any dev traits. Mickens. He had Mickens, who was a superstar dev. Nice tackle. As a defensive end, he scares me because he has kind of lower pass rush skills. But with the superstar dev and some focus, he could definitely get there. And he's only 22, which is nice. And then he had Reggie Flynn, who I don't want to say he reached for, but he was just projected low and had the highest pass rush move in the draft at 88. And ended up being a slow dev. And that's part of the reason why he's projected so low. But I wouldn't be mad about that at 17 overall. Seahawks. Oh, wow, yeah. Ray Bortles. That was a nice pick for Hawks. Superstar dev, 21 years old. So that guy, 87 throw power isn't ideal, but throw on the run, you can definitely run a little West Coast offense and be very, very happy with it. What's his play action? Does it even say? Play action 71, so down the line, I'd say year 3 if you bump that up. That would be nice. Not bad to have. Fournette was another guy who I liked. Hit power, as you can tell. And then Weber, 90 strength, 92 impact out of the box. Yes, please. That's a solid one. All he has to do is pump pass block his whole first year. And by his sophomore year, he'll have a nice little solid rate guard. Haynes Curry was another guy I liked. 87 speed, a little low on the hip power, but that'll come with time. Yeah, I wasn't trying to say anything. Yeah, I agree. Berrios is a nice receiver, and he'll get opened from day one. Just gotta get that catching traffic up. But right now, he'll put up numbers. I'm not trying to say that he's bad. I'm sorry if you thought that I was trying to say he was bad, but I like him a lot. Redskins, and that. Oh, goodness. The most interesting thing about the Redskins is exactly what Tank alluded to, is that Crin Grayson got skipped over by the Ravens, who hate Joe Flacco, and picked the very next pick. 23, 92 throw power. I had him, I think, as one of my top 3. I think I had him going in my third QB in the draft, so I was very surprised to see him go 20s. But, short accuracy, 87, 70, 80 medium accuracy. And like I said last time, I think that's mostly it. Deep accuracy isn't as big a deal. But yeah, you win a couple awards, then you can put some points into that. But right now, 92 throw power, 87 throw. All these QBs this year, great throw on the run, I find. Play action, 77. Even 76 speed is not slow for a quarterback. And then 95 injury, so he's just a Notre Dame workhorse. But yeah, great pick by his CPU. I don't know if he had him on the draft board or what. I know he set up a draft board, but that was nice. And we had another free safety named Peppers here. think I liked him as well. Yeah. So 85 is definitely nice. 88 speed, 90 acceleration, 83 zone out of the box. That's a nice little guy to have. Just work on some play rec pursuit. Maybe get that tackle up. But that's definitely like a starting safety. I liked Ruben Fields. This wasn't a draft pick. It was a left tackle. But since he's right here, that's a pretty solid stat line to start off with. No, speaking of Ravens, so that was perfect. Lockley, I like Lockley a lot. 21, 91 speed, 82. Whenever you see somebody with 80 or 75 of both out of the box, I like it, especially when one's 80. Could probably play some of the nickel with 86 agility, I think. I would. What is he, 5'10"? 5'10", so a little on the shorter side, but that's what corners are. 85 jump, clutch. Comes with clutch right out of the box, which I like a lot. I mean, it's one of the traits I'll buy down the line for a corner, but getting it for free as a rookie, it'll be interesting to see how he does with it. I think he's starting. I'm not sure. Hewer I wasn't as big a fan of with the 76 hit power, but 83 zone, I mean, that's a typical single high safety, and that's perfect for him losing Weddle. I mean... And then he still has Tony Jefferson, I think, who's playing the box safety role, which is probably where I'd stick Tony Jefferson as his speed gets a little lower. But 85 hit power, 89 zone, that's a nice little position for Tony Jefferson to be in. Then he had Will Fork was his other major pick. 81 overall out of the box for a wide receiver, 89 speed. Like, this guy just has all the tools to go up, and in that 91 spec catch is definitely something I like a lot. And X is really good. He'll get his route running and release up to 90 as quick as possible, and then work on like the catch in traffic. But that kid is probably going to be a top receiver in the league for a while. Maybe his injury, because that's not bad. At least they're all green. As Shiny's kind of alluded to, there's a durability rating, which is injury, stamina, and toughness. So, I mean, I was kind of on the right train with injury and toughness, but the stamina is also involved. And where is that on the roster? Like, I think it's with the physical and all that jazz. Let's see, toughness, injury, physical grade, intangible, durability grade. So that's... So I know we've talked about injuries before, but I think that durability grade is, I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe that's why we think guys are getting injured. They might have 90 injury, but their stamina and toughness are 70, and that's what causes guys to get injured more than we think they deserve. Rams, I don't believe made the draft, but he made some nice picks regardless. Like, I was looking at this tackle too, even though he ended up being, he's at 72 overall. But, 87 strength, 80 with pass block, just to upgrade. I'll take it. Easy to up lineman, I think. Crocker was another nice one, 77 overall, 90 strength. But yeah, wasn't a huge fan of the defensive tackle class, like the natural defensive tackle class, but some defensive ends definitely made nice ones. I don't think Raiders made the draft, and I don't think there's really many people to talk about. Not that he had a lot of picks. Shiny went all in on the young wide receiver trend. So Tate Olenberger, 21. 84 speed is tough with only 80 spec catch. I kind of alluded to that. But nice wide receiver, should fight for some balls. Spencer Quick. He's faster, 6'5". Yeah, and then he picked another one, Tank Brooks, 71 overall, 91 speed, 84 speed. So some solid wide receivers for him to play around with. All three big ones. I'm curious as to what his depth chart is. Douglas Robinson's not bad, 81 speed, 87 hit power, 21. And wow, he really had a nice youth movement now that I think about it. Aaron Patterson, little on the slower side. I think he runs a hybrid defense, so it won't be as big a deal. Just needs to get that block shut up, maybe some pass rushing moves. Parker Grove I liked as a tackle. I think he was a right tackle, but again, see, a couple 80s. Strength's a little lower than a lot of people like. But yeah, Curtis Berger, same deal here. Nice Devable. Hendricks was a guy I was looking at as the only undrafted power back. I mean, there's only 4 power backs in this draft. And I guess I should have highlighted Tank's power back because he'll be getting a lot of reps with Gurley out. Another one of the QBs here, Anthony Schroeder to the Panthers at 10. Nice job. Yeah, Kerwin Gentry. Kirkland Gantry, see, not bad. Marquise Daniel was one of the slows. He was what, pick 22? 86 speed though. That's gonna be a bitch for me to deal with in my division. Nice catching stats. 90 acceleration. So we'll see. Not really a blocker, but oh no, what a terrible situation to be in. Packers or CPU. Their tight end was quick. Divins in the top 10. 84 speed, so not as fast naturally, but that quick dev definitely helps him out. Get his run block up. Get some of those catching stats up. But nasty. Ace. I think that was the best 22-year-old. Yeah, if I had to start a franchise with a 21, 22, 23-year-old, this would be the 22-year-old I pick probably. Just nice to have that weapon. 6'6", goal line. It'd be fun to put some into release and have him line up out wide on goal line, see if he can nail those fades. But yeah. And then the 21-year-old is going to be Ace Connor, who I think is an absolute monster. Superstar. Its strength's a little low, but block shedding power moves, 85, tackle up there. He's going to be nasty to have to deal with. I do play him this year, so that'll be interesting to see how he does on CPU team. I know some people think CPU is like on roids when they play humans. I did like Mac Phillips, a little lower on the strength end, but nice solid core. Oh, and one of the slows. There we go. So maybe I didn't like him. I just knew I remembered his name. That's not a bad right tackle to have. Jets had a decent draft. I like Jets. So Zitelli was the outside linebacker, convert to defensive end. So yeah, you can see 84 power move, 76 block shed. He'll fill that nicely. Brody Shelton, though, was a normal dev, but that 92 throw power and 87 speed will be nice. And we'll talk to Wookie a little bit about his draft pick. And again, that might be another 22-year-old who I'd want to start a draft with. And that'd be fun to run kind of a little option offense. Jags, I think, had like 4 picks, but did not make draft maybe. So Giants is a Niners. They took freaking Weddle in the first round. I like him, and that's another one of the quick devs. 93 speed, and then it doesn't say it right here. That 85 juke will be nice. Get that up immediately, in my opinion. Get that to the 90 threshold, but 94 elusiveness. Ooh, and drop passes, but I would definitely, that's an easy trait to work on and pick up. I hope Carantino isn't watching. Happy birthday to him, but that's definitely a nice pick by him. And I think a few people were scared off on him because he definitely looked like a Newcomb clone to me, and Newcomb was slow for Lookout a couple years ago. Nick Offord, I liked him. 82 speed, blocking tight end. So little 70 run block is a little disappointing for that, but still usable, I think, nice. Yeah, I'll advance right after I get through this. We got Falcons, and then we'll go into the predictions side of things. Shackelford, that was a big ballsy play, superstar dev. Low than 80 accuracy is what scared a lot of people off of him. That's what I have to think it is that it was short accuracy C+, throw power was B+, which already people don't like, or throw on the run must have been A-. But yeah, like I've said, good pick by Falcons, good way to risk it, I guess. But he wanted him for that 85 speed and, acceleration and stuff. And he got that. He got the 85 speed, 87 acceleration, 91 agility. His juke moves 87, so that'll be interesting to see how he plays him. Something that I would look into is probably that carrying, 66 carrying. He's not the biggest. Not that he's a small quarterback, but 6'3", he's not the biggest. 218, so he might get pushed around a little bit. Don't think he had Martavius Simmons was nice. The deep safeties were definitely a dime a dozen, it felt like. And he picked the best punter. How did he turn out? 87. Ugh. I didn't scout the punter, so that's tough. And then Emery Case, who was a guy he really liked. And again, 75 out of both of those, and 82 press. That's nice. Eagles best draft. Sorry, this is Eagles best draft. I want the Mayor. Jared Mayer, his first round pick was hands down the worst first round pick. I don't know if he set his board. He said he set his board because later on he was drafting guys he tagged. So I'm kind of confused as to how he ended up with Mayer. Or Mare. Should it be Mare? Hope it's Mare. But yeah, this left end, 86 speed, 78 finesse move, workable, especially at 22. Dolphins. Did Dolphins pick up somebody I liked? They picked up the left tackle. Not this left tackle. Picked up a different left tackle. Nope, not that one. Not that one. There we go. Caesar Gabriel. Wow, 4 left tackles. Oh, he turned out good in a quick dev, so yeah. Cowboys wasn't able to make it, but his first round pick was somebody very interesting, like high strength and then quick dev to get him up. Block shedding wise, I wouldn't have been upset if he had fallen to me. 94 strength, though, will be interesting to deal with for the NFC. Colts did not make draft. Took my quarterback, Zach Carricker, who I wanted to be backup. 87. He's nothing. He's nothing major. Bradley Bean, though, is nice as his first round pick. 88 impact, 85 strength is nice from there, especially as a 21-year-old. Garrett Rowan, I think, was another guy I liked. 91 impact, 84 strength isn't bad. Chiefs, I believe, had a solid draft. I might be wrong. Yeah, I mean, Reed Dragos was his first round pick, which was nice, especially because you don't know what the future of Travis Kelce is with his cap situation. But a nice catching stat, 80 catch in traffic, 84 spec catch. A little slower, 77 speed than the other two tight ends, but at 22, 6'5". And as a tight end, I don't think speed is as important. It's definitely nice for cheddar. Definitely bump up that toughness, though. 78 toughness scares me a little bit. I mean, he had that guy. Nothing else is really popping out at me. I might be wrong, though. I might be just missing somebody. Chargers. He made draft. Tracy Foster was one of the sleepers I was looking at. 83 strength, 84 impact. That was slow. Normal dev. Nope. Normal dev. Antonio Green was another nice late round offensive lineman. It's a first round pick. Why am I not remember? Oh, it's this left tackle. Again, that was a nice pick. 89 strength, 86. I'd almost rather have him than the other guy if the other guy wasn't quick. Definitely doubt better out of the box. So that's nice. Good for him. Build that line to protect it. Protect Black some more. Cardinals went. BJ Patterson was a nice late round steal, I think. Look at this guy. 84 speed, but then 85 catch, 84 spec catch, or 83 spec catch, 84 catch in traffic, 93 jumping for somebody 6'4". Is not bad. Not bad at all. Tyrone Hatcher I liked a little bit. 86 strength, 85 tackle, 75 plus on both. And 76 speed is pretty good for a defensive tackle. When you think 80 for a quarterback's fast, he's going to be chasing those guys down pretty well. Russell Short was a nice, he was defensive end convert again, 91 strength, 82 tackle, 77 block shed. Just got to get a pass rush move in there, normal dev. So I expect his front seven to get pretty nasty because I assume that's what he's deving. Browns, only guy I missed was his running back, Gunther, African German, 84 carry, 88 speed, 90 truck. Not a bad 93 stiff arm. It's pretty nice. Cover ball and clutch. Fight for yards. Pretty good situation to be in. I went through that. I think I'm going to do my rookie of the years. Oh, okay. My bad. Yeah, Darby Proctor does look nice. I'll check him out right after I advance this biz. I'm not going to rush. There's one guy I wanted in free agent. There's two guys I wanted in free agency, actually. So I'm going to quickly grab LaShawn McCoy for sure. Since I bet he got picked up by CPU team, actually. Yeah, it looks like he did. Dang it. Then there was a left guard I liked. I'm curious where LaShawn McCoy ended up. Oh, and I lost my guard too. Oh well. Rookie of the Year. MVP, I think, is going to be a lot of the similar names. Leonard Fournette. I hope Jameis is up there. Carson Wentz will probably be up there. Matt Ryan for the Cardinals will be up there along with David Johnson. One of the Jags quarterbacks might be up there, Big Ben or Deshaun. I don't know. When I think of the NFC Rookie of the Year voting, I think Panthers and Falcons will be duking it out with their two quarterbacks who I already showed you. I'm just trying to think. Maybe Lookout will be involved. Defensive Rookie of the Year, as much as I'd like to say it was my safety, it'll be the Vikings. Emmanuel Blake, who probably gets it. Tackles are just so heavily weighed. For the AFC, who did they get? Oh, Munoz was somebody who was a slow dev. I think that was a draft pick by a CPU team, the Giants, I want to say. That was one of the slow ones. But he might be in contention for Rookie of the Year on the NFC side. So on the AFC side, I think you got the quarterbacks. You got Jets quarterback. You got... So there's another AFC quarterback, right? But Jets quarterback, I think, is the early favorite. And defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm just trying to think who I just went through. Nobody's inspiring me, so that's going to be tough. And I'm sure there'll be some dark horse candidates, too, who pop up. Guys who are just studs who I missed. Let me see what other questions I got before we move on to the Wookiee. 4 years from now, who gets the biggest contract of those quarterbacks? I think that's got to be Lookouts. I think that's just the rest of the team isn't that great, and it's going to be a lot of young guys. But yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of info. Who are the top people this season? What closing windows? So let's go look at some division standings for this one. Trying to figure out. I think biggest shakeup, or god damn it. Yeah, I'll do a lot of this in the predictions thread with Wookiee, actually. Average age. I think Bengals has to be getting up there. Cardinals is kind of up there. In certain areas, he's older, but I don't think Bengals is probably older in general. Chiefs might be up there too. Those are probably the two that I'd be concerned with the most if I was them, but I might be completely off base. I didn't do a lot of research, last second question. But I'm going to go ahead and invite... Oh, I got to make an announcement. But if Wookiee wants to go ahead and get ready for his interview, I'm just going to post regular season week 1. Advance will be Saturday at 9 Eastern time. That's next advance. Get your games in. So what is it? It's not broadcast settings. It is this party. I'm going to unmute that fool. Oops. I'll view his profile. I'm a mess. Howdy, Wookiee. Are you there and ready for your interview?
Yes, sir. Can y'all hear me?
Let's see. Can people hear the Wookiee? I can hear you loud and clear, man.
Okay.
Yep, they can hear you. So I did
Awesome.
forget to I forgot to answer the food question today because it's the dumbest food question I think ever. So I don't know about your thoughts, but when I think of the debate between hard and soft tacos, there's only soft tacos. It's you put a soft taco underneath, you got another soft taco at the end of your meal. It's not messy. I don't know if you feel the same way, but what are your thoughts? Hard taco or soft taco?
Well, let me answer your question with another question.
Oh God.
Corn or flour tortilla?
So this might be white appropriation here, but I think the flour tortilla was one of the greatest things to add into Mexican food. Like I like a good corn tortilla, for a street taco, but like 95% of the time I'm about that flour tortilla. Burritos, that has to be a flour. Even the soft tacos, it's nice. Especially a warmed up flour tortilla just feels like more of a blanket.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I do like soft tacos better because, like you said, I mean the hard shell tacos they become soft shell anyway.
Yeah. So. Okay, so I'm gonna knock out the general interview questions, then we'll move on to the recap. So
All
let's flip over to your team on here. But what do you think your general strengths are for your roster? Like, what is your strength on that Jets team?
My running game, man. I really worked to get better at just running the ball, and my new crop of offensive linemen should really help me with that.
Yeah, I think
And my
you have
quarterback. I mean,
four rookies out of the five starters, maybe three rookies.
yeah, it's three rookies starting, and one second-year player and one third-year player.
Okay, that's
So
a nice situation to be in. And to be honest, Tank asked who dark horse MVP. I wouldn't be surprised if if Candy, as I like to call him, keeps up
yes,
on the pace that I saw him last year. He would kill it. And I mean, if he had kept his superstar dev with that stuff, he would be a really I know that's probably salt in the wound a little bit, but
oh yeah, it
but
is, man, it is.
but he'd be nice. I mean,
Yeah,
definitely that stiff arm, get that up there. I think 85 is, I
yeah,
think 88 is a tier.
yeah.
But that's a
I'm
nice
uh, I'm
situation to be in.
I'm really curious to see how this juke move nerf happens, because I mean that might hurt Candy a lot,
Yeah. So when
but
I was playing
we'll
the
see.
Steelers CPU, it wasn't as bad as my other league, but I felt
Okay,
it was still pretty natural running it. There's definitely guys who couldn't do. Atwater was fine. Kalfani Muhammad, my backup, wasn't as good, and my wide receivers weren't as good. You know how you see some receivers just fucking kill corners on
yeah,
jukes. So that was actually a welcome change. I like that. My wide receivers aren't juking the shit out of these corners. So that was my experience
right.
in my CPU game earlier today.
Nice, nice.
Um,
Well, I mean, I'm hopefully optimistic with this season
okay.
coming up. Just going into practice mode. And I know it's just practice mode, but it's setting up to be the funnest team I've had in this league. So,
Yeah. For sure, for sure. And so to flip that on its head, what do you think your biggest weakness this year is going to be?
receiver. My receiving core is got a lot of potential, but it's pretty weak. I love Harriet. He's got to get
Yeah.
built up though.
Yeah,
He
6'6",
could easily
92
be.
speed is nasty.
Yeah, right, right. He's just he gets killed by opposing corners. He was really I thought he'd do better last year, and part of it was probably my decision making. But I think he could develop into being something great. Colston, surprisingly enough, he doesn't look great on paper, but he comes up clutch for me in a lot of moments.
Okay.
And yeah, but other than that, like I really need my receiving core to step up for my rookie QB, and I got to get better on some decision makings. So
Okay, nice, nice. Yeah, yeah, definitely. With Harriet, I mean, you up that release and he becomes a little bit of a different threat, more
right.
universal, because I definitely feel like you could press that guy and definitely cause some rifts. What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned in Madden 18? I mean, this is your first CFM, right? Online?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so what's the most important lesson if you were to, tell anybody?
Honestly, my decision makings year one with my roster really set me back. Like I'm still feeling the pains. There's some moves I should have made, some moves I shouldn't have made, particularly at quarterback that really hurt me. So really, it's just going into it, maybe taking some advice, maybe not taking some other advice from some people. That really just it could have done better for me. And the passing game is something I'm continuing to try to learn, like how to beat certain coverages, some audibles to make. And this year, I think a really underrated thing is line blocking, the line adjustments, the shifts at the before the snap. They come up huge, or you fall on your face if you don't make the right adjustments. So.
Or if you make the wrong, like if they blitz from the right instead of the left, you could really you suffer for the wrong decisions too.
Right, yeah, and I like that aspect. I just I need to get better at it. There's plenty
Yeah.
of
Oh
times
yeah.
I've max protect and they're only rushing four, so I need to. I mean, and some of that's disguises by the defense, and surprisingly enough, sometimes that happens and they still beat me with a four-man rush. So,
Yeah, there's definitely some
but
issues, and if they just have one strong pass rusher, the AI logic will definitely not double team him, and you'll just be like, "Come on,
right,
guys,
yeah,
come on." He gets that insta shed, and it's like, "Come on." Running backs like, I
right,
don't want a
yeah.
part of that 6'6" D end. So far in your time playing in the Hall of Fame, who would you say are your top 5 users in this league?
Top five users. The Panthers took me to the woodshed.
He's a good
I
user, and that was year one, right? So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, it was year one. Yeah, and I mean, I had a weak roster, but I really don't think that's an appropriate excuse. I mean, I couldn't do anything in that game.
Yeah.
Um,
Playing him
the
twice a year, I love when he's on the list. Makes me feel way better.
Right, yeah, right. Well, yeah, there you go, there
Yeah.
you go. The Bengals was a tough one.
He's good.
Honestly, Tank last year, man, that was one of the most mind-taxing games I've had. Like I couldn't do anything against his defense, and I beat him the first 2 years of the CFM. I'm 2-1 against him overall. But last year his team hit another gear. Like the moves he's
Yeah.
made, he's done really well. I don't know if he really should be top five because there's three things certain in life, and that's death, taxes, and Tank can choke a game away. But
Perfect.
his roster is definitely a good roster.
Yeah.
Um,
He's built a nasty roster for sure.
right, right. I'd say I haven't played. I don't think I've played Wheezy yet, but from looking at video, he's really good. His defensive usering is just amazing. And Shiny's got to be up there. I mean, he gets me every year. You know, I got lucky year one and beat him week 16, but he gets me every year. So
For sure, for sure. And that's, yeah, I mean, it's always tough. The Patriots, I mean, that's Sim, right? The Patriots are the big target on their back in the AFC East. So,
right,
nice,
yeah, yeah.
nice list. I definitely think the going down to 5 guys is a lot more efficient than the 10. That was like the first question was top 10, and it's like, who are the top third of the users in the league? And it's like,
Right, yeah.
is there more than 8 guys? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pixie couldn't even come up with 3, right? So
I mean,
it's hard enough to come up with 5, so 10 would be impossible.
absolutely. So, and then the fun question is, how many second graders do you think you could fight at once?
Man, honestly, you get me to the ground, I'm done. So like, it just takes like maybe 4 of them, and like 2 of them work to trip me, and I'm just done skis, man.
Like to throw a
Like,
little tabletop action on you, to one behind each leg, and then just fucking charge.
yeah, and then
Okay.
it's just over. And I'm ticklish too, so it's just I'm really just
Yeah,
screwed. I'm screwed.
okay,
So
okay. So the
so
tally so far for those keeping track at home is, I believe Tolg said a classroom, so we're looking 24 to 30 kids. I said 6. I don't know. I think past 6 they'd
right.
have me. You know, Wookiee says 4. So we're getting some interesting ranges of numbers on these 8-year-olds that we're apparently fighting.
I'm
Arena style. I
trying
don't
to
know.
make. Right. Yeah, I'm
Also,
trying
yeah.
to find a way to make a meme about Tolgs like just face kicking a bunch of little kids.
Who
Like,
did you post that
it,
statue picture? That statue picture was clutch.
no, that wasn't me. I can't take
Oh,
credit for
nice,
that.
nice.
So,
They were waiting for their moment for sure. So I got a couple more specific questions for you, though. How cheese will you be this year?
I'm trying not to succumb to the cheese side, but it's
The
getting
cheese
harder
side.
and harder,
It's
man.
getting harder and
Yeah, I
harder.
mean there's definitely a few teams that use it, but I think some of it's just naturally like you go back to what works, and yeah, Walter Mack, man. I mean he's on my team, so I gotta at least try it here and there.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, I mean it's we'll see. I'm gonna try my best not to. I mean I run a non-cheese offense anyway. I'm very option heavy, very run heavy.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, there might be cheese elements that I have that I don't really realize I'm using, but we'll see, man.
For sure. For sure. What will it feel like to lose another game to the New England Patriots?
No feelings at all, man. It's half expected now. Like I'm just happy the games are getting closer, to be honest. Shiny is a good user.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
As much as he's a yeah, I mean, as much as he's a dick sometimes, he is a good user, man. So, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I just hope to keep the games close. If I squeak out a win, hey, awesome, you know.
Yeah, week 7, and then you don't get them again till week 16. So that's nice. I mean, the rest of your division games are nowhere near the back end of the season, but so
Yeah, which is weird. I mean, the last 2 years, me and him have played like we've got both games out of the way within the first 5 weeks, which is in a way is a blessing because you know it's
yeah.
out of the way. But at the same time, it'd be nice to if the Madden would find a way to just spread out the division games appropriately.
But
moving
yeah,
forward.
exactly. You maybe do 2, 3 at the first half, but that second half of the season should be, you know, or third is really where a lot of those should be going down.
Right.
Do you think this, like in Madden 18, you'll win the AFC East?
No, I mean, and you'll see when we get to the predictions. Nah, that's
It's
Shiny's
it's an uphill
division
battle
for
for
the.
sure.
It really is, man. It really is, and I mean that's a credit to Shiny, man. Like
Yeah.
he's got a good roster. He users well.
Moving past Brady
Maybe
is
one.
tough, you know.
Yeah, and he's done pretty good. I don't know what he was thinking with the Borland experiment, but it's and I mean he got a quarterback, but he gave up a lot for him, so I hope it does well for him in a way. And a part of me hopes he falls flat on his face with it, but that's just being a competitor.
Yeah, being yeah,
Yeah, but
trust me, that Cam Newton, the whole debacle with the Panthers, like he's a good user, I know from last Madden when he was in the league, but I was excited for him not to have a franchise quarterback. You know, now he has
right,
one.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, again, I thought Finley was good, but you know, yeah, it's all different. Everybody has their different perspectives, so it'll all be interesting to see how everything goes down. But yeah, I know what you're saying. You want the worst for them, but you also want the best for them. You know,
Right.
like you
And I
you
mean,
want,
like, and me
yeah.
and oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say we're competitors. We want to win, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and like me and Tank have talked about it, and I think me and Tolgs have talked about it. Like a lot of people, I think, underestimated the how good the quarterback had to be in this year's Madden. Because I know, and I've never
yeah.
played online like this, but in offline CFMs, you can get by with like a 67 overall quarterback,
Yeah, and I think
and
part
do
of that
fine. But
is the simulation. So, you know, there's the three different game
right,
modes, and I think the sim game mode puts a lot of weight on that quarterback.
yeah, and rightfully so. I
Yeah,
mean, that's the NFL, so.
yeah, exactly. You look at the Browns, you look at the Broncos, you look at so many teams. I mean, the Jets, why, you know, people still wanted to fire Todd Bowles at the end of the year blows my mind. Truly.
Yeah, I'm with you
Truly.
there. I mean, to have the season they had is nothing short of a miracle. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
They're going to be a no-win team, and they ended up with, what, 5 or 6 wins?
right. I mean, everybody expected them to be the Browns,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
they weren't at all.
absolutely.
So
Have you ever, or do you dip your French fries in milkshakes?
yes, yes, I go way back with the fry into the Wendy's Frosty.
I was gonna say the frosty, right? Yep.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
chocolate or vanilla,
that's
then, right? I think that's the natural progression of that question. If you're talking frosty, chocolate or vanilla.
it's got to be the old school chocolate. So
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. There you
yeah.
go. There you go. What are you most looking forward to this year?
Most looking forward to my quarterback, man.
Of course. Oh yeah. Easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
I mean,
answer. Good
I'm
answer.
really, I can't wait to get in the driver's seat with him. He's got great throw power. I can see a difference in practice mode over Dobbs for sure. And a little known fact: the dude already has a 90 juke move.
Oh
and
wow. So
and 86 spin. I got to get that carry up.
I'm so
So
excited next year when I get 2 games of Falcons bullshit quarterback, your bullshit quarterback, and I'm sure Shiny will be like, yeah, Alex wants to play fucking Borland too. Just all the fast fucking high juke quarterbacks. Like, I'm going to have to spy every play no matter what.
but, right. I mean,
Yeah, like,
it's definitely
maybe some
interesting
double
moving
spies
forward.
in there.
Yeah.
And then finally, how do you feel? So you feel pretty good about your rebuild then? I mean, it's a nice rebuild in season 4. Losing Jamal Adams
Yeah,
hurts, but getting that quarterback, I think, was worth it.
it was, man. I hated to lose Adams. He's been my favorite player. Except for last year, he got hurt most of the year, and he actually dropped a dev trade on me because
Oh,
he
did
got
he?
hurt. I guess. Yeah, yeah. I
I
got
didn't know
burned
that.
by that 2 years in a row, man. I guess he didn't hit a goal for the season and dropped a dev on me. I mean, he's still a great safety. I hope I built him up well. Tank should definitely use him well.
And Bettle is
But
not a bad replacement.
no, he's not. He's sneakily going to be a great replacement
He's no
there.
Jamal
And
Adams, but that's why the
no,
trade was
no,
made. You know, that's
exactly, exactly. And I got
yeah,
my QB, man. To have the high quality mobile quarterbacks on the board and then not come away with one is actually that would have hurt. That would have been a real kick
yeah,
in the nuts. So, I definitely am happy I got the QB. And
nice.
yeah.
Definitely in high demand. I think Pixie said if he hadn't have gotten him, if he hadn't have gone with his guy, it would have been your guy.
Right, and
But
I
or it
knew
would have
he
been
was
your guy
probably
first,
going
then
there.
his. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because I know through talking to him in the previous seasons, I know he really wants a mobile QB. And when he traded Ryan and he leapfrogged me in the draft, I knew where he was going. I just knew it. So I had a trade I thought worked out with the Steelers, and it fell through. And then I had to deal with the devil and talk to
With the
Tank.
devil.
And
Uh-oh.
yeah, and not Tank's always fair, man. He's always
No,
treated me
yeah.
fair in the trade.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did.
he's probably one of the most fair in the league I've dealt with. But yeah, I dealt with him and got up there. So yeah, I think it worked out for everybody.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so let's do what everybody's tuned in for. Let's get these predictions rolling.
Okay.
How do you want to? So, what do you think? Go team schedule, or do you want to? Should I work off the standings page? What do you think is going to be a little better way to look at it?
Honestly, it's up to you. I had to, I didn't go by their schedule written down, because I had to get all this ready before we advanced last night.
Yeah.
So I had to predict schedules coming up. So I don't know for sure, like exactly some people's
Okay, I'll just
schedules,
work
but we
off
can
schedules.
definitely,
So, where do we want to
yeah,
start? What was
that's
the
up to you,
vote
man.
for the? Do you remember what the vote was? Who the winner was for first?
If I remember right, yeah, there was like three of them tied at 3 votes.
I could have sworn I
So
voted, so it might have changed. Was it in the talk show thread? I'm trying to
yeah,
pull
it's
it
in
up.
talk show.
Okay, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, there's my link. So it was right before my link. Here we go. So I got 4 votes for number 3, which is the AFC South. That was the
Okay,
highest.
all
Yeah,
right.
we had 2 threes, so I think I took that one over the edge to the AFC South. So,
Okay.
so let's look. So first one I have on my list, the Colts. What are we thinking for the quote unquote return of Notorious?
Well, is he going to return? That I have that written down
No
in my
comment.
notes, man.
No comment.
Is Notorious back? Big question mark. And that's going to really determine how the AFC South shakes out. I
I think
have them
they're.
predicted,
I think
but
that's the big vote for. Somebody asked me who I thought the biggest shakeup was going to be. I think it could be AFC South.
right. I mean, how do you want me to do this? You want me to go overalls, or are we going to break down schedule, or what?
Yeah. Like, what do you think they're? How many wins or losses do you think the Colts are gonna?
Okay, Colts, man, I got him going 11-5, and it could go a lot worse if he doesn't show up this year. It could go a lot more if he does show up, because he's
For
always
sure.
a tough battle.
Yeah.
And I kind of hope me and him do get to play. It'll be the
Week 5
rematch from the
matchup. Yep.
the infamous
Oh,
pick 2 game.
the pick
Yes,
2 game. Oh my
yes,
goodness.
yes.
I always forget about
Um,
that one.
So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. If he doesn't show up, I mean, this whole AFC South could flip on its head. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. So going from the Colts, Jaguars, the reigning Frodo.
Yeah, I mean, he's the man right now. And honestly, he's a good user. I don't see it changing. I think he wins the division this year. I've got him going potentially 14-2.
14-2.
gonna-
Okay. And I'm
Yeah.
looking right now, and I think the AFC South plays the best division in Hall of Fame right now. They have 4 games against the AFC North.
Right. I mean, honestly, this year will determine the king of the divisions. I disagree with you though. I still think the North is better overall.
That's what I'm saying. The
But
AFC North
yeah.
is the best division in Hall of Fame.
Oh, you do? Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought you
yeah.
said the
No, I
South
meant
was. My
the
bad.
South plays the best division, which is the AFC.
Yes,
Sorry if
yes,
I
they
phrased
do,
that
yes.
poorly.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
Okay,
I
so-
might have heard you wrong. But.
So which AFC North teams does he beat? I guess is the question. At 14
I
and
have him
2,
sweeping the North, man. I have him
sweeping the
sweeping
North. But
Yes.
so who are his 2 losses then? I think is the question. I think
He doesn't do well against Notorious. I got
Notorious?
him. I
Both?
got Notorious sweeping him. Yes, I got Notorious sweeping
Okay.
him this year, and those are his only
I
2
think
losses.
okay. I think he beat him. It was 1-1 between him and Notorious last year.
Yeah, but even the loss, man. Like I think, if I remember right, I think Notorious had him dead to rights.
Oh, okay.
Something just went weird.
Madden
and,
or
Notorious was mad
bad
about
decision
Madden.
or yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I
because
could
he's
be wrong there, but that was my thought process going into it.
okay. Because I look, he starts off with Patriots and Steelers, so I don't know. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out for sure. But wow. I know X is mad right now. Reading that, he's got that
He's
AFC
gonna
North
get a lot
pride.
madder when this is all said and done.
Oh, I bet. So next up, we got the Texans. What are we thinking for
Yes,
the Texans?
Texans, I think he improves, but it's a rough schedule this year. That really sucks for him. I think he goes 7-9. I honestly think he has the potential to do a lot better and prove me wrong. But I'm really just looking at the schedule right now.
Okay.
I think 7-9 is what he's going to do this year.
So do you think he gets swept by the North? Do you think he pulls off an upset against one of them? What do you think
No,
about?
I think I had him originally. I had him kind of pulling off an upset on the Steelers, but
Okay.
the moves the Steelers have made and the draft they had,
With
I had to change that
Reed
pick.
Janis was the one quarterback I didn't, and I think that's the offensive rookie of the year candidate for the AFC for sure.
I definitely
With
agree
your
with you
Q,
there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, and then he's got that. How many division games do you think the Texans do well in? I mean, he's got
Texans,
two tough users, especially with Jags and Colts, and Titans isn't, pushover.
right?
He beat me last season.
Yeah, I mean, Titans is one of those teams, man. Like they show up, and he's definitely capable of going on a streak and winning. He loses some heartbreakers, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I've definitely watched quite a few of his games, and it just hasn't broke his way in many cases. I think he goes 1-1 against the Titans.
Okay.
And believe it or not, and I don't know how crazy I am for doing this, I think he pulls off a shady upset against the Colts this year. I
Oh,
had
I'll
him as one
watch
of the
that.
Colts losses.
Wow, yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay. He's got a lot of talent.
I
The
mean,
Texans roster does.
he
So
does, and he keeps drafting really well. And as his guys are getting a little older, they're getting
yeah,
better. And he in those games that they had to keep replaying, he played LTH very close
good for him, man.
until that last game where I think he threw a few interceptions and the game broke open
Yeah.
against him. But I think he has the capability. We'll see, man. But those are the only two divisional games I have him winning.
Texans with the snub though. No primetime games this year.
Ah,
Not a single one. Sorry, Tolgs. So moving on, the Titans. What are we thinking with the Titans? So obviously they're dropping
the
one to the
Titans.
Texans.
Yes, the Titans. I think they're going to have some growing pains with Finley. I know he didn't do well with Mariota, and he didn't like him. But watching Finley with the Panthers last year, and knowing how Panthers is a decent user, I think that he's just going to struggle a little while, and the season's going to get away from him a little bit. He's going to finish 6-10.
6-10. Okay, so where are you chalking up 6 wins from?
The 6 wins, I got him sweeping. No, I got him beating the Lions and the Packers. I have him pulling off an upset against X. He beats the Texans, he beats the Bills, and he beats the Broncos.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean CPU, whatever. But yeah, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, so let's. I'm just gonna keep it simple, and I'm just gonna go NFC South, and then we'll switch to like AFC, NFC, AFC, NFC, AFC, NFC. I think that's the easiest way to keep track of this, right?
Yeah, sounds good, man.
So I guess we'll start highest alphabetically is my Buccaneers, my Buccaneers.
Well, I mean, I had you predicted high last year, and
Yeah.
you let me down, man. You honestly did let me down.
I humbled
Um,
myself is what I did. It's all a strategy. It's long term. Had to humble myself.
Right, and honestly, I think
Hurt.
you and the Panthers are the two heavyweights in the South. Yeah, looking at your two teams, I honestly think it's just going to be you two duking it out. I got you both finishing 14-2.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
obviously that can swing, give or take a few games.
So I'm
Um,
guessing we each drop a game to each other.
Right, yeah, you always split. It
Yeah.
seems like if I remember right.
So what it
And,
was is he won the first two, I won the next three, he won the last one. So I mean, it is
okay.
back and forth for sure. Like
right, yeah. You two have had some really good games.
yeah,
And so I'm really
I
this
hate it.
division. Well, you two in particular, I'm looking forward to watching
Yeah.
it unfold this year.
both prime time. In I have 3 back-to-back Sunday night games, and then I got a Thursday night game against it. It goes Panthers Sunday night, Falcons Sunday night, Panthers Sunday night, Saints Thursday night. Weeks 8
Wow.
through 11, the country is in for a dose of these Tampa Bay Buccaneers to disappoint you. And
Poor
then my other
country, right?
primetime game is the Saints as well, Thursday night, week 4.
Oh wow! How did the Saints get a primetime game and the Texans don't?
Could-
That's weird.
In all fairness, it's division.
Yeah, well that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, who do you have my other loss to? So one
I
to the
got you
Panthers.
listen to the Panthers, and I got the Chiefs pulling that out.
Okay, yeah,
against you.
he doesn't seem bad. So
Yeah, he's a good. He actually. There's been games I've watched of his, man, and like some of the passes he can make is just it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous, to be honest with you. And,
yeah,
I
from
think
what I've seen, a lot of
times-
hot routes and stuff. So you can't just look at a formation
Yeah,
and
yeah.
knows what he's doing.
Exactly, he's a smart user. That tells me he's a really smart user when he lines up. and I think a lot of his picks end up being just a poor like Madden quarterback throw.
With
Certainly there's been some bad
Mahomes, yeah.
decision makings. Yeah, yeah. So he's had growing pains, and I'll be interested to see how he does a running game. But yeah, I think he's one of those that like he can sneak up on you and really beat some good users, and then his team falls apart and he'll lose to me. Like year
I know
one. I
the
think year
feeling.
one me and him played. Yeah.
I know the
So
feeling. Okay, so Panthers 14-2. So he drops one to me as we go 500. Where's the other loss to?
he's got you, and I had him losing to the Broncos, believe it or not, because that the Broncos CPU is one. It's like the Dolphins CPU. It sneaks up on people,
And Cam Newton,
and
man.
also, yeah, Cam Newton, but also there's a chance Wonka comes back. So
Yeah,
I've sprinkled in some Broncos losses throughout the league. In case he does, I mean that's certainly, I figured that's
that
one of
would be
those
a big
things where
shakeup.
like right, right. And it's certainly one of those things where like, the Panthers may win that game, but they might, they'll probably drop one against B3 or something.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. There's
it's
other losses that he could manage, and definitely,
right.
you never know. Come week 17, he could drop a loss because of just, he already has shit locked up.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. But
for
I don't
sure.
know if this division goes how I'm thinking. Neither
Yeah.
one of you will be able to
No,
rest
no,
for
we'll
the final
both
week
be,
of the
yeah, yeah.
season. So,
We'll be battling for like the 2 seed or the 5 seed, and that's a huge difference right there.
right.
Okay, so we got Pixie. Pixie, what are we thinking for Pixie?
See, Pixies one, I had to actually go back
Yeah, with the
and
new
change.
quarterback for sure.
Yes, yes, I had him, and honestly, some of the changes I made with him made yours and the Panthers record boost up because I had him getting one against the Panthers, and I
But
think
that
I
new,
had him sneaking one
yeah,
on you.
rookie
Yeah.
quarterbacks are tough. Yeah,
But yeah, exactly, like getting rid of Matt Ryan, I don't think he's really understanding the learning curve he's about to go through. Because as a person that has had a terrible quarterback the entire CFM, he's about to learn the pains, and that's not a bad thing. His quarterback's definitely going to be good, and that superstar dev
yeah,
is
we'll help him a
definitely going to
lot.
work out for him. But I think he takes a step back this year, and maybe he can get his cap situation figured out moving forward, and he can make another run as the next few years go down. But yeah, I think Falcons goes 7-9 this
So,
season.
and I think he made a comment like that in chat too. He's like, I'm just looking to go around 500. So that's
Right, yeah, and that's very fair. He's we as much as junk as we talk to Pixie, he makes some decent moves
yeah.
during the game. I don't know about his roster management, but I don't know about mine sometimes either.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I mean he definitely has the capability to finish 9-7. But we'll see. It'll be interesting to see.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I figured just what do you think the Saints' schedule is, or what do you think their record will be? Their CPU, so I don't want to focus on them per se.
Yeah, CPU. I got them going 2-14. I don't think they've figured out the quarterback situation at all in
Nope.
the draft, and I mean they've
I
been
love
the
Barker though. I love Barker. They picked the corner Barker. Fantastic. One
right,
of the best, and again, top 22, 23-year-old in the league.
right, and they've
Yeah.
had a good secondary anyway. It's just that CPU is struggling
Yep.
offensively, and they're the whooping boys of the league lately. So
Absolutely, absolutely. So what AFC division do we want to move on to?
your call, my friend. You're the
Okay,
host.
let's go. Let's go clockwise. We'll move to the AFC West. So let's
Okay.
start. So Broncos aren't a real user. Chiefs. What are we expecting for the Chiefs?
Chiefs, man, I had him running away with this division initially, but the Raiders are in town now.
He made some moves. I mean, adding Lev Bell and stuff.
Yes, yes. I mean, if you look at that Raiders roster real quick, you feel like he's all in for
Yeah,
this season.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice
So I
receiving
got the
core for
Chiefs.
sure.
Exactly, nice receiving core. I mean, Carr. I think he still got Carr, right? He didn't
Yep, yep,
trade him
yep, yep.
away. I know he had him on the board, but yeah, but back to the Chiefs. I got him going 11-5, which is not a bad season by any
Yeah,
stretch of the imagination. I've got a big game against him, definitely beating you.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Obviously, yeah, yeah. We mentioned that.
right. I think I got him beating the Raiders once. Initially, I had him sweeping the division, but I mean, like I said, the Raiders are in town. And then I think he actually does well against the AFC East, except for Shiny.
Okay,
Um,
that's pretty fair.
and I got him losing to the Bengals and the Jaguars. So,
Yeah, that's 5 losses that I think aren't crazy. Yeah.
right.
And you could definitely flip a couple of those, and you could go 13-3 for a bye week, or drop to 9-7. I mean, I don't know how good this Raiders user is. He only had the one game versus Shiny, and that's a tough litmus test.
Right. And honestly, that's one of the hardest things with doing this one this year is we got so many new users, and I'm
Yeah,
really happy. I'm really excited to see how this shakes out this season. But I mean, some of these users, man, they've made great moves, and we don't know how well they can play yet, but I have to give respect to where good moves were
yeah.
made. So,
So going to the other, I say the other because they're still the Chargers, but Raiders. So since we're talking about the Raiders so much, what do we think the Raiders season is going to look like?
the division crown goes back to the Raiders this year. They go 12-4.
Gross.
Yeah. I mean, we had RP winning it by default. It seemed like, his CPU kind of carried
Yeah,
him the first few years. But I think just with that roster alone, and like Shani saying in the chat, it looks like he made good decisions in the game. He's a decent
yeah,
user.
yeah.
So I mean, I think he's definitely gonna beat the heck out of me. The Bills and the Dolphins, that's 2 CPU games. I got him losing to the Shiny. But I think he beats the Chiefs. He beats Pixie, and I think he beats Tank. I think Tank chokes that game away.
Okay, I
That's
mean
gonna be
that's
one of Tank's chokes.
well, nice, nice,
So
nice. And then so for the Chargers, newer user again. What do we
yeah,
think for the Chargers?
the foundation of that roster was really good. It's getting that you're losing your talent window with that quarterback and that
Yeah,
receiver as they're getting older. It sucks because
I think they're
those were
still only
two.
24. To be perfectly honest,
Right.
which
Yeah,
is
but
still
with
nice. But yeah,
it's still nice. He still can dev it, but with our quarterback XP sliders, man, like it's kind of that hurts him a lot.
yeah,
But for the time being, like I think he can do decently, but I got him going 4-12 this year.
4-12
Just we got to see more. I got to see more of how he plays,
for sure.
and yeah, see how it shakes out.
Yeah, and then Broncos record. I know you had him for a few upsets, and we'll probably talk to those when we get to the users. So I just figured, what do you think the
Right.
Broncos record is going to end up?
I got him going 5-11. It's probably actually going to be 6-10 because little funny fact is me myself have never beat the Broncos CPU. I'm 0-2 against them. Like so that's
Of
probably
course,
going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
another win for him. So
It happens. It happens. Okay, so
yeah.
NFC West, we got to go back to the the Super Bowl participation trophy award winner, Wheezy.
Wheezy, yeah.
What are we feeling for
The,
Wheezy?
Wheezy's the king of this division until somebody steps up, and
Yeah,
I think the Rams have the talent to do it. Watching some of his games last year, he's definitely a good user.
yeah.
I think
I
the
have him
roster
week
has a
one,
decent.
so I'm definitely a little skeptical. Like I think that could be a battle.
Oh, really? Okay, you can start with him week one again. Didn't you do that last year?
Yes, actually, that is correct. I
Oh,
did start with the
wow,
Rams week one last year too. Good point. I forgot.
that's crazy.
I just feel
But yeah,
bad because
like
I suspended Crowell because carry limit or carry rule, and then I'm like, of course I play him for the suspension game. Like I don't do this. I suspended him before the fucking schedule came out.
right.
No league collusion, I
Uh,
swear.
what happens, man? I didn't
Yeah.
realize he was using Crowell that much.
Me
I thought
neither.
it
I
was
didn't until I
yeah.
I started looking at the numbers and stuff, and I was just like, hold on. And I started going through his games, and I was just like, come on, come on, come on. There's just a few of them, and I was just like, well, fuck. You
Oh
know.
man. Oh well, I think he can get over that though.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
Crowell's a good running back,
yeah,
but he's definitely.
Cardinals
I don't think
record.
he's a.
We'll get to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I did
Cardinals
that. My
record.
bad. Yeah, I did that.
13-3 for Wheezy.
13-3. Nice. Three
Yeah. I
losses
mean,
too.
the 3 losses I got him losing to the Cowboys, to the Patriots, and the Panthers.
Nice. Yeah. So
So
Panthers week one. So you're expecting 2-3 come week 5. But yeah,
yeah,
that's
and then he just kind of cruises down the stretch.
yeah, for
So
sure. And he's got some CPUs in there. And as much as we want to talk about Rams is a good user, I mean, he laid down the wood on the Rams both times he played them. First time I get it was the first week
exactly.
Rams was in, so I thought
Yeah.
the second game after seeing him in a few games would be closer, but I don't know what happened in that
Right.
second game. It was just more of that, which is tough. It's
And
tough.
Right, and as I was making this, initially I wanted to do a split between those two, but like you said, I mean, he took him to the woodshed last
Yeah.
year, so I had to respect that, and I got this year, but he can definitely surprise. The
Yeah.
Rams can, so we'll see. And I mean, it seems like Weezy has like some juggernaut matchups every year, and I know it's because he finishes first, and so like
Yeah.
he goes against the Panthers and the Cowboys, and which they play the NFC East this year, but
Yeah, so he gets
he
all
seems to
three. I like Eagles, Cowboys, and Redskins. All are look like they're pretty tough
right.
competitors.
Exactly, and so like
Yeah.
it's definitely some of the fun games to watch is from Wheezy because it's you get those like almost playoff type matchups throughout
Yeah,
the season.
absolutely,
So
absolutely. Got a new Niners user. He doesn't seem very confident. What are you thinking for him?
for the Niners, I got him going 5-11.
Wow.
I
Okay.
think he's definitely yeah. I mean, it's not no disrespect to him. I mean he's got Russell Wilson
That's true.
still,
Yeah,
right?
I forget that
Yeah,
I do like that roster quite a bit, especially with the additional Weddle.
right. Exactly. So like I think he can definitely do better. I just he hasn't proven it yet, and he's against Wheezy in that division and the Rams.
Yeah.
I thought the Rams were a slightly better user and could do better. So yeah, I got him finishing 5-11.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And you think he's sweeping the Seahawks in that situation, or?
No, no, I think this is one I changed. I had the Seahawks doing quite a bit worse originally, but I had the asterisks around it because I wanted to wait to see how he drafts,
Yeah, he had a
and he
lot of
drafted really
draft
well.
capital. Trading down seemed to help him out, help
Yes,
fill out some holes.
right, and I mean, thanks to New England, the Seahawks have drafted really well, and but he's going to go 7-9 this year, and I think he splits with the Niners.
Talking about
I
lookout
like
here.
that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that quarterback's a lot. I was really happy to see him get that quarterback after the year one fiasco with the slow Dev Newcomb, and
Yeah.
I mean he
Who's
still
now
got
up to
Brown
quick
year one, but
dev?
right, yeah. I mean and I'm really happy that the league has done that. It's helped like Lookout salvage his guy, who was a good draft pick, and there was no way we could have known that Newcomb would be a slow
Yeah. No,
Dev.
there's no stories.
So
Nothing. It was just what is it? Odds. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Moving
yeah.
on.
So
What could be the toughest division in I think it's the toughest division. I don't think it could be. I think it is already. We got your week two opponent. What are we thinking? How do we think the Browns do?
the Browns, specifically the Browns, I think he goes 11-5, and he's got the roster to run away with this division. But it's a tough division. I just looking at it, and the Bengals seems to just he has their number at times. I know. That Tank's gotten the better of the Bengals a little bit last year, but I mean, it took a Hail Mary one of the games.
Yeah.
And I do like the Bengals roster, at least for this year. I don't know how he's going to do moving past this season, but yeah, I think Tank goes 11-5. The
11-5. Nice.
losses I have for him are the Bengals for one game. I've got him losing to the Ravens. I think him and X split.
Yeah.
The Steelers, I think him and the Steelers split, and the Jags, and I got the Raiders beating him.
Yeah. Yeah.
One
Yeah. You
game.
mentioned the
So
Raiders thing earlier. So yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
yeah,
That should be some interesting games to watch for sure. So moving on, who's next alphabetically? I'm just going down, just going north to
I
south
got you.
here. So we got the Ravens.
Ravens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I skipped over
X.
the Bengals. My bad. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay,
Okay,
so
you want
Ravens, your
Bengals?
week one, Browns week one opponent.
Okay, you want Ravens or Bengals first?
Ravens. Let's knock out Ravens.
Ravens. All right, X. Man, I don't mean no disrespect by this prediction this year. You're in a brutal division. I think the Ravens go 7-9 this year.
7-9.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's and easily that can swing. I mean, X is definitely a good user. I don't know how good Flacco will
He
be.
says
I
it's
don't
cool.
know.
He sucks.
I mean, I don't know. Has Flacco regressed much? I didn't get a chance to really look at it,
I
but
assume as much. Yeah. He's like 76
yeah.
overall when I checked. It's pretty ridiculous, especially for the
Wow, that's
money that he's
brutal.
getting paid. It's rough.
Man, that contract has got to be the biggest chokehold on a team. And,
Yeah,
and,
because I
and
was looking at it, and it's we're 4 years in, and it's still a negative cap penalty to cut him, or cap
right,
savings
yeah,
to cut him. That's insane.
that's crazy. So yeah, I mean, I do think the Ravens play people tough. I got them upsetting, or I don't know if you really want to look at it as an upset, but I got him upsetting LTH. He beats the Redskins. He does well against B3. And
Yeah.
him and Tank split. So
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Okay, so moving on to Steelers.
Steelers, I had him. This is
Up and
one I
coming
had
user,
the
biggest
Steelers.
turnaround I
Yeah,
think here.
right, right. And I mean, honestly, I look at my win against him last year as probably one of the best ones I've had in the CFM because I,
Quality
I
win.
really expect, yes, like the moral victory, right? Like I beat the Steelers a year ago, right? But I got him doing 10-6. I had him sub 500, but the dude drafted so well and he's made great moves. One weak spot I would say he might have is his running game. I
With
think TJ Yeldon is his
yep,
starting
it is.
halfback. But man, he's got that rookie quarterback, and if the worst happens, Philip Rivers is his backup. I mean, Philip Rivers has become the journeyman of the HOFL.
apparently,
Um,
apparently.
yeah, yeah. So I think he sneaks up on quite a few people. He's going to compete in this division. I'm excited to see it happen.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay. Yeah. And so what was the record prediction for him? I think I might have missed it
Oh,
there.
10-6
10 and
for the
6. Okay.
Steelers.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice, very nice. And you're presuming, yeah, half those losses are to the division, which do not surprise. That's a tough division to be walking around in.
Yeah, I mean, if you come out of that division with a winning record, you've done something. I
Yeah,
mean,
like
you
4 and
should,
2. Yeah. Yeah.
right. I mean, it's you should feel good about yourself if you've left that division
And
well.
hopefully, if
A
everybody comes
little,
back to Madden 19, it'll be interesting. I know Bengals are Bengals team, and X and Bengals always go at it. Like they've been the same teams for at least 2, if not 3 rotations
oh
now.
well, that's awesome.
I
That's
was in
awesome.
that division
I
last year.
am
It's tough for sure.
really. Who were you? The Steelers or?
Oh, it's all about them Browns, man. All about them
Oh man,
Browns.
I got you. Nice,
Cheesing it
nice.
up with Darius Jackson. But yeah,
A few notes here, man. I know everybody wants to know how the Browns do against B3 because that's a little like
that's a
almost like a
rivalry. That's a rivalry
WWE
for
like
sure.
yeah grudge match we got going.
Week
I think Tank
17
wins that.
too.
I know, right? That's crazy.
That'll be fun.
It's not often Madden gives us this glorious ending of a season, but I do predict the Browns to win it, but I do think it could be a really close game.
So when you
So.
go into the chat, you can see how people felt about Darius Jackson on my Cleveland Browns.
Oh
Bengals though,
man,
we just got to wrap up the AFC North.
yeah. Bengals 12-4, man. I think this is his
Nice.
last year to really just dominate this
And that
division.
12-4
Um,
has him winning the division or not?
yes, 12-4 has him
Yep.
winning the division.
Okay.
I mean, and that could easily swing. And I can't emphasize that enough. This division is just really
Yeah.
tough. But this, to me, I think, and he's drafted well. He's developed players well. But I think he's losing Dalton at the end of this season. I think AJ Green's gone now. He's got some burners at receiver, but how do they catch the ball? I know with having a weak receiving core, they can have the speed all day, but can they make the catches?
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So like I think this is his last ride to dominate, and I expect him to be back for sure.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. So 5 losses or 4 losses. So 1 to
Yeah, 4
Browns, 1
losses.
to X, or was it
Yeah,
1 to
one to
X?
Browns. I think no, I don't think. I think I got him sweeping X. Yeah, I
Okay.
got him sweeping X. I got him losing to the Browns, the Jags, the Colts, and the Cowboys.
Okay, very nice. Oh, so 3 losses in a row, effectively, from
Yeah,
week 8 till 12. Almost what happened to the Browns last season.
yeah, and that was everybody was wondering, how would Tank respond with that
Yeah,
losing streak? And
yeah, that,
he ended up riding the ship.
yeah,
So
for sure, for sure. Okay, moving on to the NFC North, I guess. We're going to start with the
okay,
Bears. Made the playoffs
Bears.
last year,
Okay.
won the division,
Yep.
4th seed in the playoffs. What are we thinking for him?
I think the Bears. I think the Bears go 8-8, but with this division, we've seen 8-8 can definitely win it. I mean, they it's just they tend to have rough schedules. They have a rough schedule again this year, and it's going to come down between him and the Vikings.
Yeah,
So
obviously they're both going to go 4-0 against the Lions and Packers, I'd hope.
Right. Yeah.
They both play the
So
Saints, so there's 5 wins right there.
yeah, I
Maybe
mean the
split the
CPU
difference,
games
but yeah,
alone got them up there. And honestly, the it comes down to who wins between the two of them.
yeah.
And I got the Vikings going 9-7, so that could
So
easily
you think
flip.
he gets the edge somewhere down the line? He wins one game more than
Exactly,
nice,
exactly.
yeah.
So it really just comes down to their head-to-heads, but I think the Vikings got the slightly better roster right now, and they've drafted well.
Yeah, they
The Bears
have.
didn't have a bad draft though. The
No,
Bears had a good draft as
he's
well.
had
So
solid. Both these guys have had solid drafts year in and year out.
yeah,
And then
they've done really.
we assuming top 10 picks for the Packers and Lions again.
Very much so. I mean, just looking, it's hard for me to like just find wins for the CPU teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I think last year I predicted the Giants to not even have a win. I tried to avoid that this year. I got the Lions and the Packers both going 1-15.
1-15.
So,
Yeah.
and
But
they'll
split the
probably sneak
difference
up and
between
win.
each other. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. I threw that in there, and they'll probably win like 2 or 3 somehow. But
Yeah, if there's a
it's just
sim
yeah,
there or something. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
so
exactly.
they both play the Saints, which is their only other CPU. So they have 3 CPU games each.
Right, right. And the Saints, I had the Saints actually beating both of them because that was the
Yeah,
only way I could find the Saints to get any wins. So,
for sure. And those are
yeah,
toss-ups. Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then Packers. Yeah, so Packers. So we got AFC East. So let's start with
AFC.
CPU Bills. What are we feeling for them?
3-13 for the
3
CPU
and 13.
Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just the Dolphins, the
Dolphins. Yep.
Broncos, and then I know the Chargers has had some issues with his getting to play and all that. So I had to maybe the Bills sneaking off a win
Yep.
against the Chargers.
Sounds good.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And then moving
and
down the list, we got the Dolphins.
Dolphins 1-15.
1-15.
They get one
Yeah.
on the Bills. Yeah.
And then I think that's all their CPU games, right?
I think so. Yeah, because they
Yeah.
play. Yeah, yeah. I mean, because the AFC West
Oh, and the
and the
Broncos,
NFC
maybe. Yeah.
West. Yeah, yeah. The Broncos potentially, but I just figured that Broncos
Yeah.
roster is better than that Dolphins roster anyway. So
For sure. And I still don't know who they're starting at quarterback.
right. Yeah. So
So
I know
yeah.
you like the
The
backup, right?
Shabble,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Shable, whatever his name is. Okay, so humility time. Where are you thinking you end up? I mean, you got first 3 weeks, you got easy going apart from Tank week 2.
Right, right. And I'm looking forward to Tank's game because
Yeah.
me and him always play well, and it's always a fun game. But I do think Tank beats me. I got me going 8-8.
8-8.
That's
Okay.
my best. Yeah, that's my best case scenario. And if you look at my history in the league, I'm always either 7-9. I think 9-7 was my best year, and I think I had 2 7-9 seasons and a 9-7 season. So I'm always around 500. So I figured, hey, why not? Maybe I can get 8-8.
For
So
sure. For sure. Yeah, and are you projecting to get swept by Shiny, or do you think you can split that this year?
I am. I'm projecting to get swept by him. I certainly think
Okay.
I'm capable of sneaking one off. But I'm not. There's no way I'm going to predict that I
Yeah.
win that game until I prove it. So,
Yeah, you
yeah.
definitely NFC West. You got Cards and Rams, but then you have Lookout and Caratino on the other side. AFC West has some
Right.
competitors, but also you could, you never know.
Yeah, you never
Yeah,
know, man. So,
definitely. I like that prediction. I think I think you're being a little too humble. I think you could go 9-7, maybe 10-6. I mean, definitely you could be in the playoff conversation come like week 12. Depending on
right,
how
and
things shake out.
I remember a few years ago, and it was partly, my good season was partly due to scheduling. I had quite a few CPUs, and it really helped me out. And I was going down the stretch, and I was looking at my remaining games. And I was like, man, I could finish 10-6, maybe 11-5. This is gonna be a great year. I finished 9-7, man. Like I had
Yeah,
quite a few hiccups against the computer, and I'm good for that. Every year, like I said, I've never beat the Broncos CPU, and
yeah.
I've had the Dolphins just come out and straight mollywop me, man. Like it just happens
Yeah.
sometimes. So I mean, I think I have the capability.
I think
But
the
to
crux
predict and
of
put it on
CPU
paper.
play is the trenches. I think against the CPU, O-line and D-line matter way more than they do against users.
Right, and honestly, I think the quarterback, man, it matters a whole lot. And I know me and you have talked quite a bit about quarterback awareness, but I think
Yeah.
quarterback awareness against, especially against the CPU team, really comes into play because I've seen where my quarterbacks just play completely terrible against the
Yeah.
CPU secondary. So
Then we got okay, Shiny. Where do you think he goes?
13-3, man. I mean, this is his division, definitely.
And
He's
that's good for
definitely
the
going
one
against
seed,
some.
right?
I think so. Well, no, he's 2 seed. I think I got the Jags going 14-2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, you can't disrespect the reigning champs, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I got he's 13-3. He's definitely going to run away with the division. He doesn't lose a game in the division, and he wins a few juggernaut matchups. So
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah.
And then looking at the NFC East, we got so Giants. I have not seen play, nor has he said anything in a while.
Right, and
So what do
so
we
like
think about him?
that being said, like I really wrestled with this because I know we got a user, and I don't want to disrespect the user this way, but
Yeah.
I'm just assuming it's a CPU for now because we haven't heard from him. I'd love to see him come on board. I want to see somebody take the Giants and use them. But so I got them going 2-14
Two and
against
14.
yeah, the Lions
Hopefully,
and the
it's a chip
Saints
on
are
his
two
shoulder.
wins. Right, yeah. I mean, definitely prove me wrong, man. Come in here and like win the division, So,
Yeah.
but yeah, and I know that roster's got some struggles ahead of it, and
Yeah.
but I definitely hope he comes on board and does something with it.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Me too. Me too. Another tough division, full division, fighting division would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Uh.
very much so, and it was one of those
Yeah.
divisions early on. We're like, man, how is it not full? I mean, because it's got good teams.
Right? It's
And
crazy
we
that the
finally
Eagles were open for so long. Skins were open. I mean, we had a little owner
right.
issues, but yeah, absolutely.
Right, right. So like I'm excited to see this division moving forward.
Yeah.
B3 is definitely a respectable user. Cowboys is good. It
Yeah.
depends on like I guess he's been on vacation, so I'm
He's been
assuming he's
it's
coming back.
work vacate like it's not vacation. He's just been away for work.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, definitely looking forward to seeing the division shake out
Yeah.
this year.
And one of the wild card spots, the wild card spots from last year, Redskins. How do we think he's going to do
Right.
this year?
Um, the Skins, I had him taking a step back.
Okay,
Mainly because, yeah, I mean, like mainly because the I don't, I mean, I had to respect Eagles and Cowboys a little bit,
I think he
and
swept Cowboys CPU last year. I don't know if he actually played grits.
right. So like, how does that play out if he actually plays Grits? So
Yeah.
because Grits is a good user and he's
Oh, 100%. And Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott, it's a good Madden team no matter the
right,
user.
and that O line, man, it doesn't matter how good your D line is, man. You just can't get past it. I mean,
No.
well, in my experience anyway, like that game I played
Yeah, that was
against
my
him
struggle
very
versus the
frustrating.
CPU last year. That's what confirmed those beliefs. Is it was just his offensive defensive line dominated mine every fucking play. I couldn't run the ball. I could felt like I didn't have time. Cooper Rush had 12 seconds every play. I mean, it was just taxing.
Right.
But the run game, he
And-
averaged like 2.4 yards per carry, but ran it 30, 50, 40 times in that game, it felt, to just not give me as many opportunities.
Right. I mean, it runs down the clock.
Yeah.
And yeah, you had Rush against you, but I played him against Dak, and Dak's mobile enough to be just a
Yeah.
thorn in your side, man. Like if you can have everything covered, and he'll find the hole. And Grits is good at that.
Yeah.
He knows when to step up and go for the run and get the little bit of yardage he can, and he slides well. He don't try
Yeah.
to dive and get extra yards. Stupidly, he gets he gets down with Dak, doesn't get Dak hurt. Dak doesn't fumble.
Yeah, last year as the
He,
Panthers, he was a real pain in the ass.
right. And I mean, like Grits is like that's one thing I can take away from watching him play and playing him is he makes smart decisions.
Yeah.
I tried to talk to him a little bit after our game because I was looking for some advice, like how to get better. Like
Yeah, for sure.
What do you see on the field? Like what helps you with your decision making? Because he's one user I've seen that like I'm just really impressed with his decision making on the field because he doesn't throw stupid balls. I mean it's either he takes what the defense gives him. It's the definition of it. So
Okay, yeah, for sure. And what do you think? I think we didn't say the records, but Redskins, how do you think they do?
6-10 for the
6-10
Redskins. So
regression, yeah. And then Cowboys, what do you think?
13-3 for the
13-3.
Cowboys, taking the
Okay,
division back. Yeah.
taking the division back, and everybody's favorite kitty corner member, the King. What are we
Good
thinking
old
B3 does?
B3. Yeah, B3. I mean, we got a quarterback controversy this year, so
It's true, Mare.
um, yeah, we got to see how that shakes out. Honestly, and I know he can do a lot better than this. It's just how it shook out. I got him going 8-8. But he's got some brutal games, man. I mean, they play the AFC North. He's got the Cowboys. He's got the Skins that are a good user. So his only real guarantees are the Giants twice. I think he beats the Niners. He proved that last season.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Lookout, I think he beats Lookout.
Yeah.
And I think he beats the Bears. But I mean, Cowboys, Cardinals, Rams, Bengals, Browns, Ravens, Steelers, Panthers. That's brutal, man.
Yeah.
So I definitely think he can pull some more off. But yeah, I just think he'll definitely be in the picture for a while. But 8-8 is what I'm predicting.
Absolutely. So with that all said and done, so the AFC right now playoff picture is going to be, you have the 4 division winners. So Shiny's number 2 seed, Jags number 1. You have 3 as the Bengals?
Bengals, I think. Hold on, let me get my papers right here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jags. Yeah, Bengals. It's Bengals or Raiders 3 seed. I got them both finishing 12-4.
Okay, so yeah, and then we have Raiders winning the AFC West.
Yeah. And I think I got Chiefs as one of the wild cards.
And Browns is the other one.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, and then on the flip side, the NFC. So you have Cardinals or Cowboys? Are they both 13-3?
I got Cardinals and Cowboys 13-3. And I think they play each other, so there's a tiebreaker there.
Nice.
I've got Wheezy predicted to win the game. So I'm just going to say Wheezy's the first seed now.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes perfect sense. And then...
no. Panthers first seed.
Oh, that's right.
Panthers
you have
first.
both of us going. So we're going to have a 14-win wild card, of course.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll be very surprised. I know I say that like I'll be surprised if I get 14 wins, but somehow I managed that 2 years ago. Don't ask me how, but apparently I did.
Right.
Blackout season. But yeah, so Panthers number 1, Cardinals for 2, Cowboys for 3, and then Vikings for 4. Then me is 5, and then who do you have the Rams sneaking into the playoffs? Is that who you have as the new wild card spot?
Let's see.
Because I know Eagles were 8-8, Redskins were less than 500.
Yeah, it's going to be the Rams.
Maybe the Falcons.
Wild card spot. No, Falcons. Well, if he does better.
Yeah, if he flips the 7-9 up.
Yeah. If he goes 9-7, and I think he plays the Rams head to head, if I'm not mistaken. No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. But yeah, I mean, it might come down to a tiebreaker between them, depending on how Madden works it out.
Yeah, so I just think for the wild card, it's all head-to-head, then conference record. I don't think it looks at anything else. And if
really? Gotcha.
Yeah, because it was interesting how the tiebreaker should have worked last year in the NFC, and they didn't work. But yeah,
gotcha,
I think that's all the questions. We went over playoffs, all the records. So biggest shakeup in the division. What do you personally think it'll be?
The biggest shakeup?
Yep.
The Rams. I
the
think
Rams.
He
okay.
has the potential.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm assuming, just looking at my paper here. I mean, you can't really count the Raiders because they won the division the first 2 years.
Just a more return to normalcy.
Right, yeah. And so, yeah, I'm going to say the Rams because I don't think the Rams have finished second in their division at all. And I know they've had ownership issues type deal. So I think him finishing 10-6, potentially making it to the playoffs.
It'd be nice.
That would be a big shakeup. So.
Yeah, it'll be a good match between me and him tonight for sure.
Yeah, there you go. I'll definitely have to tune in.
And then who do you think biggest disappointment?
Biggest disappointment would probably be. Do I say Pixie? I'm not sure. Nah, honestly, with the team B3 has, if he finishes 8-8. That would be a huge disappointment because his roster is good, and to be in that salary situation and to not finish better would be a huge letdown. So.
Oh, I didn't realize the CPU filled out my practice squad, huh?
Oh no. Yeah, they do it. I think they do it regardless if you don't
Yeah.
have it full.
I just saw that Wheezy like stole a guy, and I'm like, I do not know who that is.
Nice.
Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks for having you on. I believe I
Yeah.
have potentially I have an interview with LTH on Tuesday. Who knows how that's gonna go? But it should be a fun season. I mean, if we have another draft like by around Valentine's Day, just past Valentine's Day, I think we're moving at a great pace.
Oh yeah, like I love the pace we had last season.
It's
I
crazy.
don't know
Just
how
what
sustainable
35
it'll
days?
be,
Yeah.
but yeah,
And it's
yeah.
tough.
I
We
mean,
want more
that's
users,
awesome.
but the more users, the more likely there are to be hangups.
Right. Yeah.
32
So
different guys
just
schedule.
yeah, scheduling differences and like I mean December. I'm assuming we have a few guys in school or whatnot. So like probably had people with
Yeah.
a lot more time on their hands could schedule easier. So as people get back to work and school, it might be a little harder. But definitely looking forward to the season. I can't wait to get in the driver's seat with my team, and I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, yeah, thanks for having you on. And I will
oh,
check you
thanks for having
around.
me.
We
Yeah,
play next
yeah,
season. Should be
yeah.
an
Can't wait,
exciting
man.
time. But yeah, have a
The
good rest
last
of your
time we
night, man.
met, I had RG3 at quarterback,
I
so it should be a little
Yeah,
different.
should be a little different. Agreed. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, have a good night and
Uh,
good luck this season, Wookie.
you too, man. You
And
too.
thanks for
See
tuning
ya.
in, everybody. See you around.